So we mentioned more overdoses than deaths by gun violence, more than car crashes, more than suicide.
Cancers, heart attacks.
Overdose deaths involving fentanyl and other synthetic opioids are reaching another record high. The CDC says that close to 109,000 people died of drug overdoses for the year-long period.
So what I want you to think to yourself is, where am I in this ripple effect? And next time, before you make a decision, don't just think about how your decision affects yourself. Think about how your actions affect others.
Each year, we observe August 31st as the International Overdose Awareness Day to remember those who lost their battle against drugs. This year, Centinela has adopted the campaign slogan, "As Together We Can," highlighting the positive effects when a community stands together to support the grieving families without stigma.
To help with education about the International Overdose Awareness Day, let me start by defining exactly what is an opioid overdose. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC, defines opioid overdose as an overdose which occurs with exposure to more than one drug, with or without the person's knowledge. Opioids are substances that attach to different parts of your brain, referred to as receptors. When opioids are taken, either by themselves or in combination with other drugs, they will impair normal function. This means that they will affect the central nervous system, affecting the respiration, the breathing, the heart rate, and quite often can lead to cardiac arrest or even death. In 2021, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, as well as California Correctional Healthcare Services, identified opioid overdose as one of the leading causes of death.
Today, we would like to help you recognize what an overdose is and how to identify your role during this life-threatening emergency.
This is Dr. Sanga. I'm the Chief Medical Executive here at Centinela State Prison. It is important for us to recognize signs and symptoms of overdose. If you see someone unresponsive, they're not easily arousable, they don't respond to stimuli, they appear confused, they appear like they're nodding off, they're having difficulty breathing, their breathing is slow, labored breathing with snoring, choking sensation, their skin is feeling cold, clammy to touch, and they're very hard to arouse.
If you identify any of these symptoms, you should immediately call for help. Do not assume they are asleep. Do not let them sleep it off. To seek help, activate man-down medical emergency. Remember, overdose is a life-threatening emergency that can lead to death. Stay with the person until help arrives.
If you have access to Narcan, use it, as this may work even if a person has stopped breathing. Naloxone nasal spray is a medication that can help reverse overdoses resulting from opioids.
First responders will arrive to the scene and determine the need to administer additional Narcan and to call for a high level of care of assistance. It is important for the first responders to know if any previous doses of Narcan were administered.
Now, let's review how to properly administer Narcan nasal spray. Remember, each nasal spray is a one-time use.
Once you have it ready outside the package, take the Narcan nasal spray in your hands and hold it up by placing your thumb at the bottom of the plunger. Then place your index and middle finger on either side of the nozzle. Tilt the person's head back and provide support under the neck with your hand. Gently insert the tip of the nozzle into one nostril until your fingers on either side of the nozzle are against the bottom of the person's nose. Press the plunger firmly to give a dose of Narcan nasal spray.
In some cases, multiple doses may be needed. This process can be repeated every 2 to 3 minutes. The second dose should be given no sooner than 2 minutes after the first dose.
There may be times where it's difficult to tell if someone is overdosing. When you're not sure, it's best to treat it as an overdose.
My name is Douglas Cornejo. I'm 30 years old. On February 9, 2024, I overdosed. It was a bad morning, to say the least. I was going through a lot of stuff in my life, and I had one too many bad days. This particular morning, I reached out to my family, my parents, my brother, my son. No one was there. I know now that it wasn't because they didn't want to be. Life just happens. But at the time, I was going through it and I didn't have anyone there for me. When I overdosed, I woke up in CTC 30 minutes later, not knowing what had happened. They took me to the hospital, they treated me, they brought me back, but it took 7 doses of Narcan for me to survive this incident. Drug addiction is no joke. Drug addiction is like a prison. Once it's got a hold of you, it can never let you go. You have to fight it. And the only way you can fight it is with help. No one gets through it alone. So I sought help. I reached out to DRP counselors, to OMCP mentors, and they have assisted me and equipped me with tools and resources that have helped me through the tough times in my life since. This happened to me, and it doesn't have to happen to you. Because the next time you do, it might be the last time you do it.
Remember that you're never alone. If you or anyone you know are struggling with addiction, there is help available. Start the conversation with your primary care team today by submitting a medical slip.